All right, welcome to the Minerc Island Developer Commentary. This is the first one I'm
Woo!
doing of these. I'm here with G-Man Rocky,
Hi, that's me.
and
Hi.
yeah, that's him. And after every full song releases, I'm going to be doing one of these, but this is the only one that is going to be public. If you would like to get access to these for every island I post, I've now set up memberships because I passed 1,000 subscribers, which I appreciate you guys a lot for that.
Confetti effects on the screen right now.
Yay!
Yeah, yeah.
So how these are gonna go is we're just gonna talk about some fun facts, the process of creating these full songs, and this one is Minerc Island. The full song came out about like exactly a month ago, I think, and
Right.
it was my favorite island that I've made yet. So I thought I'd share some some information. So this is actually Minerc Island Update 2. Um, the original one came out about a year and a month ago. The original and
Right.
update 2 came out basically a year apart. Um,
And that song took a long time to actually go from initial trailer to full song.
the original one.
Yeah, because that one,
It
it was like, we kind of
it was
slowed down with the Discord elements.
yeah, definitely. It was yeah, wow. The trailer for original Minor Island was February 23rd, and then the full song was November 10th.
Dang.
Because I remember I got through most of the Discord like triples and stuff, and then I just kind of like gave up. Like
Yeah.
it was June 19th. I posted Audreville, but then I just like took a hard break for like a couple of months. Or I'm sorry,
Hmm.
July 14th was Fangstrom. I took a break for a while, and then I made basically like a I'm back trailer on November 2nd. Um, and you actually commented, "The legend has returned."
Yeah, I remember
So
that.
then the day after, I think I posted CD418 and then Nimbliss and then the full song. So it's been a
Which
this island has had a history to it. So
do we want to start with deciding why Minerc was the second island?
there was a reason for that.
I mean, no, I don't know. It's what was your thought process behind
Well,
making Minerc the second island?
um, so my main thought process was that there really wasn't one. I kind of just came up with the elements in the order that they came to me because Kahoo was a pre-existing thing. Like I had
Right, I
a
remember
Kahoo
this.
element forever ago, and it was originally Kahoo Island was Kahoo, Psychic, Water, and
Fire, I believe.
Fire. You're right, yeah. Fire. Because I wanted to, I pictured it as like with in-game elements, and I really wanted to have Popette on it
Right.
and Psychic because I thought those worked really well together. So uh then once I started the Fan Made Frenzy, which the remake of that, Fan Made Frenzy Reunited, is actually releasing individuals right now.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Woohoo!
When I started that,
Huzzah!
I figured after I finished that, I was like, maybe I should have like an actual class for these. And I remember in our like original the group chat with me, you, and Sweet Lollipop,
Yeah, the Triple
the
Islanders.
Triple Islanders, yeah. In that original group chat we had, I listed out like all my element ideas, because it was and I just listed them
Yeah.
in the order that they came to my mind. Like, I already had Kahoo. Then what else do I like? Minecraft. So Minerc. Then what else?
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon, Pokemon. YouTube,
Paka.
YouTube.
Uh,
Discord.
right.
It was a fairly
Let me.
linear thinking
I'm gonna see if
process.
I can find. I'm gonna see if I can find that original group chat and find that message.
Kahoot, Minecraft, YouTube, Discord, Pokemon.
Right.
I don't think that was the original one I Oh, that was when I was planning out a second class.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
called the creatives, where the elements were
Oh
pencil, paint, marker, paper, and eraser. That actually had some like yeah, it didn't have much potential, but it had some cool ideas.
yeah, it's interesting, but it's not
It didn't
good.
have much room to grow. Yeah, and like I don't know how to make art materials making noises very well, but
Right.
um it's just a whole island where it's just like pens clicking.
Yeah, that's the entire
Some
island.
percussion. I'm making a percussion now for something that's just like pen clicking noises.
Nice.
If done right, it could go hard. Anyways, yeah, I came up with them in that order, and Minerc was the second island because I just I kept them in an order. Like I didn't when I think of
Mhm.
FSM, I get that like the main game is like organized that way, but in my mind, like the first element on Kahoo Island was Kahoo, which makes sense.
Right.
Kahoo is the first island then. Then the second element was Minerc, so the second island would be Minerc. Then the third element was Pacum, so the blah blah blah, you know, and so on and so on.
Right.
So I guess I mean it was probably fairly easy to guess before, but I guess I'm leaking the island order. It goes Kahoo, Minerc, Utub, Discord, Kahoo, Minerc, Pacum, Utub, Discord. Like that's it
Right.
just works better in my mind. It's pretty straightforward. So
So, what about the original song creating process?
the original song, that was actually inspired by the song Minecraft by C418.
Oh, I remember this. You started this entire class off by basing all of the island songs based
Yep.
off pre-existing songs, if I remember.
Yes. Yeah, that is correct. Kahoo Island is kind of cleverly based on the Kahoot music, the main song, like boom,
Mm-hmm.
boom, 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 and so I took that and made dun, 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 dun.
Da, 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 da.
Exactly. So then I wanted to do something similar with Minerc. Um, and so I thought, what does everyone think of when they think Minecraft? Probably that dun, dun, dun,
No,
dun.
no.
Exactly. See?
Oh, now
Um,
that you say that, I hear the melody in my head
yeah.
of
Yep.
what is it? What is it? Cry score or who was playing that part?
Discord. Yep. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
just took it, looped it a couple times, and changed around the notes, so it got na na
Da, da,
na
da,
na
da.
na na na.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that was inspired. And then while we're on the topic of that, Hockham Island was originally inspired by Lavender Town a little, but I completely scrapped that part.
Right, and then I walked in, and
Yeah,
completely changed the
hey
song.
everyone,
We should-
let's make some lyrics.
yeah. If I remember correctly, I did like the first like minute of the song, and then I just left the song up to you
Yeah, but I mean, I
from
guess
there.
it worked. It kicked everything off and kind of made me realize, hey, a lot of my songs kind of suck.
So, yeah.
So, um, and it was then like before I started the update twos, I had been learning more about music and stuff like chord progressions, keys, time signatures, chords in general, because I didn't know
Right.
much about those, and I'm still not very well informed about them, but you know, I'm definitely better off than in
You know
2021.
they exist and how they work.
Exactly. And if like at least I'm looking up like chord progressions now. Like I look up I think, oh, let me pick a key. Let me look up a popular chord progression for this and switch it up a little. You know, that's what I've been doing
Mm.
as of late with new songs that I can't give any examples for yet. But
Woo.
but you know, I've been
This is
doing that instead of just like, oh, these two notes sound good together.
right. Funny notes sound good. Make song.
Exactly.
What
That's what I
now?
did. And that's why we don't talk about Fan Made Frenzy, because I didn't even know about keys. So I bet you
Yeah.
90% of those notes are not in the same key.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, no, it was A
Yeah.
minor. So it's like I didn't use any sharps or flats. It was probably fairly easy to stay and keep. There was no chord
Right,
progression.
but then you had the water phone guy.
Yeah. Um,
We
I think
don't.
I
We should let's try and stay on track of Minerc.
yeah.
But yeah, we don't talk about
I,
him.
I thought we weren't gonna have much to talk about, but the fact that we're spiraling is good.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so Minerc, this is my favorite island, at least, like, story-wise, and I think this is one of my
Right.
favorite songs that I've made.
hmm
Because
Do
in
we
update, what?
go ahead?
In update 2, the moment at the very end when the credits roll, the rocket takes off, and like all the monsters that play that main melody, like the dun, 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 when it that moment is like my favorite of any song I've made in a while. Um, because
Right.
there's actually an interesting story behind that part. When I made the original Minor Island song, there was never more than like three monsters playing at once, which sucked.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Oh, can
and
I?
and and at one
As
point and at one point when I was like, "Hey, I'm starting a new song," you told me, "Please, for the love of God, make sure more than 3 monsters are playing at once."
I,
And that stuck
okay,
with me in a good way.
as a digital dev and a good friend of Posy, holy moly, I hated the original Minerc song.
Yeah, and you've made that very clear, and I fully understand that and agree with it. But
Yeah,
I'm
it's
glad
not
that
horrible. It's just so nothing.
right, exactly. Like the melodies are good. Like if you notice, I barely changed any melodies for update 2. I just made more of them play at once. Whoa.
Yeah,
Like
crazy, crazy
exactly.
thought.
Like I made a new Remindel sound, because you changed him into a
The da 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 da.
exactly. You changed him into a
Blah blah blah
lead
blah
with
blah.
Pacem, and that was like one of the
Right.
best sound changes ever. Um
I
and
can't wait to do the Pockham behind the scenes when update 2 comes out.
because that's where you really come in.
Yeah.
Um, Frenzy will also be a fun one. I think we should try and get everyone in
Right.
for that. Anyways, getting sidetracked again. I barely changed any of the sounds. Like I made history better. Like I made the notes longer.
hmm
Um, like whoa, he doesn't have to play these notes that don't hold for any time. Whoa, like it's I can have them play whole notes.
Right.
Shocker, plot twist. Because that's the thing I noticed for like all of my songs. Like history became absolutely goated when I started making them hold notes and like play together.
Right.
Um anyways, what I was saying, that part at the end of the credits where they all play that main melody, that was inspired by the original one when I was like, wait, a bunch of these monsters play like the same main melody. What if I like threw them all together in this like separate band lab project? What would it sound like? And I was like, wow, that sounds weird. So many monsters are playing at once. And then like a year later, I was looking back on it like, wait a sec, this
Wait
actually
a
sounds
second.
kind
This
of
kind
good.
of
And so like I made a
this is
part
kind
for
of
it in the
fire.
full
Hang
song,
on.
and it's now my favorite part of the song. So
Right.
yeah,
So, do we want to? Ooh, man, I'm getting weird deja vu. But you remember? Do you remember us talking about Minerc before in a way like this?
nope, not at all.
Okay, you said that last time. Whenever I discussed having deja vu about this.
It's so weird.
Yeah, my deja vu is so weird because I usually get deja vu about stuff that I've had deja vu about before. Anyways,
Weird.
we can.
That's
I
so
was.
weird.
Yeah. So, what were your original problems with the update 1 video going into the update 2 video?
I would say, my main problem was that it was really empty. Like there was never
Right.
more than like 3 monsters playing at once, maybe 4. And
Right.
in the
Yeah.
process of remaking this, you kind of just like called me out on it and I realized, yeah. So
But hey, but like the composing in general has gotten better. Just
yeah,
in all songs, really.
right, right. So I mean, yeah, I don't know what I was doing with this island
Because
because I made a graph a while ago. Just like because I was messaging you about something. I feel like my art was like going good, getting better, and then it dropped hard at Minerc Island because I just stopped putting effort into
Right,
it, and then it like skyrocketed after like right towards the end of Pacum because that's when I made Ice
right.
Core and Arachronaut.
I agree with this.
So
Yes.
yeah, I'm just gonna slap that graph on screen because I think it's kind of funny. My other main problem was the background. Um, when I look back at it, because I really liked the idea of it, but when I looked at it, there's like two trees, and it's so empty other than that, and the outline is so like chunky, and then I do the thing I do with a bunch of the islands. If you didn't already know this, I guess this is another fun fact. You can see the individual background in the background. Um,
Right, I
because
remember
if you
that.
see right here, you can see the castle there, and the monster's scale fits that. Like Block Crafton would be like up to, I know you can't see what I'm pointing, but like up to this vine,
Yeah.
like that's his height, and that makes sense to what he was shown as in the individuals video. But original Monarch Island, I had the same idea, but the castle was just like weird sitting up here on top of one of the horns. Um,
Hmm.
and it did not look good, and it was not to scale at all. And also another thing about the original individual background, I completely traced that. Like I just looked up
Right.
free castle clip art PNG and traced it, and yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah, no, and this time I was like, you know what, I could probably be less lazy and actually make one myself. Um, yeah. w- When I was redesigning the background, I felt like it was kind of hard to do, not because I didn't know how to execute it. Like I wanted to be able to do it right. Like I get that a lot of the things I do, I could do a lot of things, and as long as it looks good, people would be happy with it and accept it as what it is. But
Hmm.
I want it to look true to what it was in my head. And a lot
And
of the
it's
original
and it's
like
your
times
video.
I
You could
tried it.
do.
Hmm?
Sorry, start over. You go ahead.
Is it a lot of the original times, like when I tried drawing a sketch for the island, it didn't feel like Minerc. I don't know. So what I did for this one was I took heavy inspiration from the original one. Like it's almost the same thing. I just executed it a lot better and filled in the blank spaces.
Right, and I would say your just backgrounds in general have been very just. You're an amazing background artist. I just have to say.
Thank you.
You put a lot of effort into the rhythmical islands,
Hmm.
and I think you walked up to me or you told me like I need to start putting this amount of effort into my own class.
Yeah, and another thing that kind of sparked that was when I was just starting, like the first ever Kahoo Update 2 background. You were like, make sure to give it your all, like you did with my class, and I'm like, you know what? That's actually a fair
Yeah,
point. Let me do that. And then I did. So
and
another
then
little
he
thing I
did.
want to talk about real quick while we're on the topic of backgrounds is I found out about the Ibis Paint, which is what I use, by the way. Art platform leak. Uh, art
Whoa,
platform reveal. So crazy, guys. Anyways, I use Ibis Paint X, and I use it free because I don't need to pay for it because it's such a great app. Um, even without paying for premium. Uh, and I found out like right as I was starting the Kahoo backgrounds that they have this whole free library of like textures that you can just overlay on something. My backgrounds just got a massive boost in quality after I learned about that because I didn't have to
you're
like go over it 50 times with the charcoal brush to add some rough
right.
texture, which is what I did for the Spark power plant backgrounds. Anywhere you see like a roughed up texture, that's the charcoal brush. And it took me several
Oh,
minutes for every little space of texture I wanted it to do. But now I just like press a button and there's this one material that's called fluffy, and I don't know what kind of like black magic they use to make it, but it just like makes anything look better.
true.
So,
We can
yeah.
probably show up on screen instances of where the fluffy texture is being used.
Yes, I will show several because there are so many. Um
Yeah,
And it's not even just my projects either, but I don't know if I can show any that aren't my projects, because I don't think any of them are released.
Right.
Anyways, back to Minerc. I think we should just go through the full song and first talk about the full song and
Right.
um and then we can
Maybe
go
afterwards talk about monsters.
monster by monster, look at the bios and stuff. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Instantly, we should talk about this animation that I did.
Yes.
Says, the original one you had made in just your typical editing style, like for all of this, was a little bit choppy, or it was a little
4K.
snappy
Sorry.
in my opinion. What?
I put it on 4K because I made these.
Yeah.
4K.
And so what I did is I asked, "Hey, can I give a shot at this?" And so I used Moho to get like the squash and stretch and the rotations and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah,
exactly.
I thought it was working my face.
It was better. First of all, I probably already showed it on screen when I edit this, but right here on this wall, this cave wall that you can kind of see overlaying things,
Mm-hmm.
that's the fluffy texture. Anyways,
Yeah.
I kind of slapped that on all the minor caves. Anyways, um, with the animation, I don't use like a designated animation app. I use CapCut and keyframes and stuff. So I physically cannot do that the swash and stretch. So it was honestly a great
Right.
help for you to be able to do that. But in this while I was editing this island, like right about when I was editing this part, you can actually see it start to come in here. I figured out about CapCut graphs.
Mm-hmm.
Like where it eases in or eases out, so it's not a constant speed. It makes it feel so much more realistic, like that little boop, boop,
Yeah.
that looked terrible before.
Yeah.
Now I can get
I know.
the gradual movement that I want in one keyframe moving to another keyframe. I can get a gradual motion to that instead of adding one keyframe, two keyframe. I used to have to do like 5 keyframes to do a gradual like ease in, ease out animation, but then I realized that tiny little
Right.
button there that's been there this whole time just works magic, and I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to
Right.
talk about.
Another instance of graph.
It,
Go ahead.
what? What'd you say? Oh,
I
graphs.
was just
Yeah,
gonna
we're
say that was
another
another instance of graph.
another fluffy texture. um,
Yeah, fluffy
but
textures everywhere.
something else. CD418. We can get into him later, but I just want to say he's a very important lore-wise monster, and
Right.
also one of my personal favorites. Because I don't know how. Never mind. We'll get to that when we talk
All
about
right.
him as a monster. But
You
another
wanted. I
thing.
think you also wanted to say. Yeah. Go ahead.
Um, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say the fact that there's lore in this background.
Oh yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
All right. So, um, another thing is for those of you who are um into the lore of the digitals and want to learn as much as you can, all the secrets and Easter eggs and stuff. This background is very important lore-wise, and it will come into great importance later.
And here we have the flashback of the island, which you said something to me about the flashbacks with this
Yeah.
and Kahoo Island.
So there's a flashback in both Minerc and Kahoo Update 2, and both times when editing them, I meant to add like a grayed out overlay or at least a vignette, which I added in this one. I added a vignette in this one, which makes it look a lot more like dark. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
in this part, but anyways, both times I completely forgot to add the grayed out effect. So if you aren't paying
Yeah.
attention, you can't really tell that it's a flashback. So if I ever
Right.
make another island scene with a flashback scene, I just got to remember to do that time.
All right. About two things about this background. Well, three technically. Number one, lore people. Hi, hello, hi, lores. Number two, you can see that Flaps here, who is a hummingbird, not a bug, by the way. There's just some crushed up leaves in his tank, which is not. He eats nectar because he's a hummingbird. So he drinks out of flowers. So I thought it was very funny when this part of the video came up, and there's just dried leaves in there.
Yeah.
Um, the last thing, when you were making this background, all four sides of this containment thing, we used to be
Mhm.
glass, and we could see into like another hallway behind this. But I said, "Hey, that makes the computer things look completely two-dimensional. We should probably change that."
Yeah, and then I did.
And then he did.
So,
Bro did.
and there's also like not lore wise, but there are also a lot of Easter eggs in this background. Because you can see his element, his dimension, his island, and all that stuff. And I like
Right.
putting Easter eggs in my backgrounds. They're fun.
Right, that monster.
And then
And then
you can see here, CD418 kind of has like a realization that he doesn't want to do this. But that
and then
scene
he
right
drop
there,
kicks him.
that scene right there, it was actually really hard to figure out how I was gonna like convey, I don't want to do this anymore. I am leaving. So I showed like the realization thing, and I said, "Know this, bye bye." But then I looked at it and I was like, that could still be interpreted as like friendly, like I'm sorry, but I can't do this anymore. Goodbye. And so I made him kick the other guy. So it goes like, no, nuh-uh, bye-bye.
Bye. Gone.
Um,
Oh, in this background.
this background,
Which
yes, this
who
was
drew this
done
background
by
again?
Kikabug.
Right, right.
Which it looks pretty good. And it's like meant to be a cave, like a sunset island water thingy thing.
Yep.
But
All the
this
jazz.
background has had an original version that
Which will show on screen now.
yes, that G-Man saw, and G-Man being the voice of reason in the digital dev server said, "Hey, kind of looks just like flesh." Um,
Right?
and so Kiku was like, "You know what? Yeah, that's fair." Um,
Yeah. It's still
so
very pink in this version, but sunset lighting, blah blah
yeah,
blah.
so they changed it, and it looks a little more natural now.
Right.
So he gathers his team called
Right.
what do I call it? The Travelers, the Discord Travelers, and they go to all these different dimensions.
It's right, and that's the whole flashback.
hmm I think when it comes out of the speech bubble, like when you see it fade into the speech bubble, that's when it's a little more clear that he's telling them something. And also, I started this
Hmm.
booth long ago, but I still forgot to do the
Right.
where I added the gray overlay. Anyways,
So yeah, and another thing about this, with both of our lores, really, dimensional travel is incredibly important because if you see the oh, I can't get into much detail about it, but lore people out there, dimensional travel is going to be very important to
yes,
piecing together these stories.
right, both rhythmical and digital stories, which if you are not informed, which you definitely should be, G-Man Rocky is the creator of the Rhythmicals class, and if you have not seen that, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Hello, hi.
So I'll have them linked in the description. So go check out his channel.
And also, Pawsey did Pawsey did the backgrounds for most, if not
Right.
all, islands. So
Right.
if you're not there for me, be there for him.
Yeah, I think I counted one time and it was like over 70% of your videos have a background by me.
Yeah, and I thank you for it because Lord knows I could not have done it.
Yeah, I couldn't at first either. We don't talk about original Crystal Canyon background.
Yeah.
Let's keep watching. Oh yeah, and there you can
And
see
here's
the rocket takeoff from
I would
Kuhu Island.
I would like to mention real quick. How did you end up doing these back sprites of all the monsters? Because there was this and History, which I love him.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
And Subshout, by the way.
Subshout, yeah,
This
has a
scene
back
is
sprite. How do you end up doing them?
well, first of all, I just want to say because you brought up the back sprites, this scene is intentionally like identical but like flipped to the one in Kuhu Island where they see Minerc Island in the distance. Um,
Oh.
And I was originally gonna have Kika draw this background too, because they drew the Kahoo one. But
Right.
I already had the questionnaire back one. All I do is I take it into IBIS, usually on my phone, because it's not like a high. Because I have a like a tablet device that I use for um like my main drawings, like backgrounds, final monster renders, all that stuff. But this isn't like
Hmm.
a high intensity importance thing. So I just take it into IBIS, I flip the layer and just color over it what looks like it. And something I should say is canonically, Who Shift has a tail. I just completely forgot that he should have one.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and I'm also actually working on 3D modeling Who Shift in real life.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna
pull up
3D
the
print. Yeah, yeah, I'll pull up the image in editing. And I'm gonna
yeah.
3D print him. And I actually added the tail in that one. I don't know if you can see it, but I can add my own image of it.
Well, a big bright flashing arrow is pointing at it right now.
Yes, just give me
Yes,
more
give
work
you
to get
more
done there.
editing work.
Anyways, this was meant to be intentionally parallel to the Kahoo one. So you see Subshout, he's mad because his rocket crashed, and he's explaining that a bunch of
Hmm.
monsters in him are in a rocket, um, but the rocket doesn't have power. And later in the video, he explains why they're going in the rocket, which I will explain that when he does.
I forget that all of the monsters, those four specific monsters, were in the rocket. I thought it was
Yeah,
just him.
I never conveyed that well enough because only Subshout comes out
Hmm.
of it. I I kind of forgot, honestly, but also B, I didn't really want to add 3, 4 more monsters into the editing workload because CapCut was
Right.
lagging enough as it was. Um,
True.
yeah, but then Who Shift's like, what if there's power in there? And so they go
And
in
so they go
and they find
mining at night.
this cave. And this was actually I hope very clearly inspired by Redstone from Minecraft as a power source. And I don't know why, but this little animation sequence where they get the ore is I'm kind of proud of it. I don't know. I think it's oddly smooth.
Hmm. Can I also mention? I don't know if we mentioned this before, but the Remindo, the what's his name?
Yeah,
Not Remindo.
Mindeller.
Inverde.
Oh,
The Inverde design. Well, we can talk about that later.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll talk about that when we get to
My
it.
bad.
It's fine. Ah, yes, the workshop, the ethereal
Yes.
workshop. No, um,
Whoa.
uh, just kidding. That's probably why 90% of you are here. Um, but just kidding. They don't watch my videos that I spend hours working on.
Right.
Anyways, so we can see this workshop here. There isn't really much story to this. I just threw some things in, but these up here are very clearly inspired by redstone lamps. And then we can see the beginnings of Remindel on the table there.
Right. We
Um,
already went to mines, and now we're gonna do the crafting
you can see a little blue, not blue, a little blueprint
print.
of him up there. Yeah, and this I just drew out for this sequence. I just drew out like a couple different assets, like a circuit board, a head, a body, and then some hands and stuff. And I gave them different like forms, like oh, the body with this thing open, a body with the thing closed,
Right.
and I just like moved them around and saved like 10 different PNGs and just threw them in like this and made it look like he was working on something.
Right.
We have the animation.
And then, which this is probably the best animation you made for the
Yeah,
island.
because this is once I knew about graphs.
Yeah.
All right, so here he says the rocket's ready to go, and he explains that at the end of the Who Island Update 2, you could see during the credits sequence, which actually the credits weren't there in the original version, so I had to repost it in 4K and with the fixed credits.
Yeah.
Um, he got an incoming transmission after the airship docked, because you can see him something something, I can't read it there. Normal, comms, online, airship docked successfully, trees punched,
Pretty punched.
Yeah, and you can see a little
That's so stupid.
I know. I love it. You see a little map there and the date, because that was 10/4/23, I think, is actually when Kahoo premiered. Um, anyways, he got this incoming transmission from up above somewhere. I can't exactly reveal where yet. Again, I can say it is not Pacom.
Mm.
So he gets this transmission and he looks up and he sees this moon thing and he wants to go to it.
Moon.
And so
Moon.
he's asking who wants to go. And he gets a bunch of volunteers from Minerc.
And then, yeah, they're just kind of standing around, being like,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
this
we'll
is the
go.
thing.
Why not?"
It wasn't really this song, the storyboard and stuff weren't really well balanced with the time. Like, we have some scenes where like the redstone and remindel animation where that's all crammed into like two verses or two, you know? But this one
Right.
is just one little thing happening and it takes like the entire end of the song. But this is the part where I wanted people to like really focus on the music at the end because I really like this part. The
Same.
build up and then the final end where they all start playing the melody. And I hope the part where I talked about that melody at the end is kept in. It wasn't in the part that got cut out. And I got bored and made Who Shift just start spinning.
Yeah. Ship's just like, well, I'm sick of this.
I think it's funny that he just like does that for fun. And
He's such a silly little guy. And then the flow tree animation here.
this credit sequence was actually inspired by the original Minerc Island credit sequence, but I actually gave it story this time because the rocket is taking off, going that mysterious moon sky.
Right.
Nimbus.
Gosh, we love. Nimbus doesn't really appear in the full song.
Right.
Well, I mean, in the story.
Yeah, he's not really story based, but again, we'll get into this with the bio. His lore is that like he's kind of like a myth, like a rare creature. That only a few people have actually seen him. So I thought it'd be cool that he just like lives in the sky protecting Minerc Island. And oh, here we go.
That's cute.
The post credit scene. Here we go.
Ooh.
So
There's
now,
no way to know what this was teasing. Wow.
yeah, who would have guessed? So now that it's started releasing, I can actually reveal what this is. That is the teaser for Fan-Made Frenzy Reunited. Um, and I guess since it's a dev commentary and we should start giving more like behind the scenes, like exclusive stuff, that is Overseer's new design. You can't see it very well, and I don't think it's that bad of a leak because it's 90% the same. It just looks better.
Right.
But yeah, that's his new design. And besides, by the time, who knows, by the time I had this edited, his individual might even be out.
Yeah. We'll edit this
Wait,
based on how that
there's no,
happens.
I think he might be tomorrow's.
Wow.
Wait, because is he Kahoo Metal Dragon?
I think so.
I gotta check. Good old Rowdy making lists and then leaving the server.
Yeah.
Overseer. Yep, he's tomorrow's individual.
Yeah. Well, not a
Okay.
spoiler anymore.
No more spoilers, guys. Unless I get this edited tonight and stay up till like 3 a.m., but I probably shouldn't do that.
Please don't. Please don't.
Okay. All right. Anyways. All right. So we're gonna go through the monster bios and just talk about the monsters themselves. So first we got
Just the Discord ones, right?
mainly them, yeah, because we can talk about
I thought
them
my thought
anytime.
process was we do the Discord ones that were introduced on this island here, and so then we save all the original guys
That makes sense.
for
That
the
makes a lot
Kahoot
more
Island.
sense. Right.
Because ooh,
Just because,
you guys aren't getting stuff. Ooh,
yeah, just
hey, you have
because
money,
this one.
money now.
If you guys would like to see that, memberships are available. The Kahoo Island. We will also be doing a dev commentary for Kahoo Island update too, because even though we're doing Minerc first, this is the one that just happened, and so I wanted to keep it current, you know.
Right.
But we will still be doing a Kahoo one. So let's just. Oh, I don't need to skip the video. I need to go to Chris Chord. So Chris Chord, um, his sound, I'm just gonna say, is one of the sounds on here that is exactly identical to update one because I thought it was good. I didn't think it needed
Right.
to change.
I agree. It was one of the best sounds on the island, anyways. So,
Yeah, kind of carried, and then he carried even harder on Pacom.
right.
Um, so his bio says Chris Chord is the second in command of a group of interdimensional travelers. This team has several members, and they utilize the center gate, which is what that portal in the middle is called, of Minerc Island to help monsters across the multiverse. However, prolonged use of the center gate has altered the Discord elementals, making them a bit otherworldly. And his name is inspired by the
Interesting.
words chrysalis and discord, unintentionally the music term chord,
Right.
because I just wanted it to match like, oh, no, it's not. I
Like,
spelled it wrong. I
wait,
spelled
what?
it wrong. Like the text on screen, like on the
Oh, you
individual page.
did.
There's not supposed to be a second H. I spelled it right in the bio. It's just Chris Chord, like a power chord, like the frenzy monster.
Frenzy. Oh,
Anyways, um, there isn't much to say about him.
he's
He
there's the one canon bit of lore that him and Flaps are like best friends.
oh yeah. I mentioned that at one time, like in black pen, and you were like, "Why is it so scruffy?" I'm like, "Pen," and you said, "I need to see you scruffy every rhythmical now."
What? What? I do not remember
Yeah, I'll put
that.
it on screen for the video.
All right.
Yeah, but my only problem with him is that he uses the Discord symbol verbatim, but I think it's
Right.
executed well enough.
I mean, yeah, turning it into butterfly wings is cool.
Yeah. Oh, he actually had an original design where it was just like, I don't know, just like flat, and you were like, there's
Yeah,
almost no character or expression to that. And like, yeah, that's fair. Um,
I'm very critical of your class, is what I'm
yes,
coming to
but it's
realize.
almost always for the better, so I thank you for that. Okay, so we got
Okay.
Patry.
Then we got
He,
Topple, right?
yeah, Topple. So
Funny little dude.
this guy, Topple, uh, first of all, is the first of my monsters to not use a band lab sound, or the first of my monsters to use a garage band sound, I would say. Um,
Correct. Because I remember originally
you've
you had to export a MIDI for me to turn it into the GarageBand sound that I found.
yes. Because
Because if you guys didn't know, Posy is a stinky little Android user.
oh, shut up. Anyways, yes, I have an Android, so I can't use GarageBand. I do have a Mac that I'll be honest, was gotten specifically for GarageBand because it was really cheap. Um,
hmm
uh, but GarageBand Mac doesn't have the Alchemy synth, so it's just missing
Right.
like 70% of the sounds that mobile is, which is really backwards to me. But
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. So, anyways, this monster is the first of mine to use a non-band lab or non-vocal sample, whatever sound, which I think is kind of neat. And also this monster, Kahoo Discord, went through so many prototypes you would not believe. Um,
Just scroll him up on screen right now as we're talking.
yes, he was originally meant to be a tiki, like tiki head with fire, and he was orange and really angry, which I also completely traced. Um, uh, and I just traced it and added some arms and fire. But his original sound was supposed to go like it was supposed to be a vocal, and he was supposed to go pow, wappa pow, and it sounded so dumb, and I hated it.
Yeah,
So I
I don't
changed it.
think you
So
don't have. Never mind. I was gonna say you don't have any vocals, but Flowtree is right there,
Floptree and
and
then
Saprika.
sub shout. Yeah, I guess Saprika is a vocal too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then sub shout, but I don't have many. There might be more in the future. Who
hmm
knows?
Ooh.
I don't have any planned. I'm just saying I should probably do some more eventually.
Yeah.
No leaks here, just a genuine suggestion.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe
but
the
anyways,
maybe the Reedling one. Never mind.
Um, and then I realized this sucks, and I changed it, but not before I made the trailer. So if you look at the fifth element reveal trailer, which I'll throw on screen right now, you can actually see that orange tiki guy in the background when the rest of the doubles come out of the portal. Um,
Right.
yeah. Then I decided to make him a totem pole. Um, and that also went through a lot of iterations. Like I made them actual tiki faces, and then I made them faces of monsters from other classes. There was like um Limborg from the Rhythmicals, uh
Oh my gosh.
Tim from Sweet Lollipop's class,
We
Tim,
miss him.
yeah, rest in
Rest in
peace,
peace,
my
sweet
darling.
lollipop.
um
Sweet isn't dead. I'm just joking.
and then some random Frenzian, I don't remember who, but I like threw them on there as like totem pole faces, and I realized, oh, this is also really stupid. Um, and then I finally landed on this and went with the usual digital Discord trope of making it glitchy. Um,
Right. I was about to
and I'm gonna be
mention
honest, I
that
don't know how they make their sound.
I always
I'm just
assumed that
gonna
they just
say
like sort of like vocalized it.
that makes sense. That makes sense. It is a very vocally sound. But also,
Hmm.
if you hear at, I don't even know if I added to Minerc. Oh my, wait, please tell me I did. Oh, I didn't. At least not in the individual. Their sound is supposed to, I don't think I put it in the individual, include like wood blocks falling noise. They topple over.
Ah,
So,
yeah, because
um,
they're top pull.
yeah. That's why I called them that. So, and that was also used in Pacem, and as of right now, in the Update 2 song, so wink wink, still is being used. So,
Hmm.
what do we got
We
next?
can go over the bio real quick.
Oh, that's right, bio. Completely forgot. One second. Topple is similar to a Blockcrafton in that they are stacked on top of one another, but Topple is a single entity rather than a species, and has far worse balance. The clumsiest of the Discord travelers, Topple is always falling over. Once it came in contact with a nasty toxic spill in another dimension, and has not been the same since. So next up is Renderman, and
Right.
um, out of all of the original like Discord elementals, this one was probably like the simplest to make
Yeah, I
because
mean, it's pretty much bare bones, just an Enderman.
yeah, yeah. He has like the Pixar styled him like all the other Minarch doubles. And yeah, I don't know, just a simple, silly little guy. And yeah, I took those particles directly from the Enderman in game. So
Ah,
let me pull up his bio real quick. Bio. Renderman is the builder of the Travelers, and it has built many things. The Travelers say Renderman has even built large things in other dimensions while they were traveling, and it assisted in the building of a city in a different world, which is a reference to the Rhythmicals.
right, and the building of Metamorphopolis.
Correct. Yes. And I think canonically, because of how the lore kind of has to be set up, um, I think we'll say that that happened like before he was officially like inducted into the Travelers
Right.
because I believe like I don't know. It could go either way. It hasn't been officially determined. I don't even think it really needs to be, but
Yeah, it's kind of just
like
time wishy-washy
yeah. Yeah,
nonsense.
it doesn't matter and it doesn't need to matter. Yeah. All right. Pretty simple guy. Funny story, I actually lost the original samples I had for him. So
Oh,
every Renderman sound I've made since then has been sampled from the samples. Like I have
ah,
when I make a new Renderman sound now, I have to take his Minor Island 1 individual sound and splice out the individual sounds, the block hits. So that's fun. No, it's not.
that is fun. It's very neat and cool. Do you think? How does when you if he was animated, would he like be building something whenever he's playing?
He could be. I think that'd be cool. But I also think he would just like place a few blocks in the sky and like a measure or two after they get placed, they like just disappear, like fade out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, all right, next up is Remindel.
My baby boy. Well, not my baby boy. I take no ownership of this man.
Um, so Remindel, his bio says, while exploring Minerc Island, Mindeller found a cave with lots of scrap parts. He began working on a robot to pilot remotely so that he could continue his adventures with the digitals, at least for a short while. Um, because funnily enough, there is going to be an island that neither of these two lads are on, sadly. Um,
Right.
because of the way it works, because Remindel and Mindeller are on the same island. I believe it's Discord Island that has none of them based on the element combos. So that's sad, but I don't know.
And it's also interesting that he's the only Discord element that isn't a traveler.
Well, in the first of all, there's Notifly and all the new Discord elementals on Pacom. Um,
Oh yeah.
but no, he in the lore he is like one of the travelers after he finishes Mindeller's mission. Like Mindeller sets him free, gives him like free will and stuff, and he joins the travelers. So
Aw.
yeah, it still stays true that all the minor or all the Minor Island Discord elementals, that's a tongue twister, um, are travelers. So, his name origin is that it's an anagram of Mindeller, if you were not smart enough to understand that. Um, and it also fits nicely that it kind of sounds like a reminder.
Right. Because that's what
And that
Discord lets you know.
I didn't even think of it that way. I just thought like
Oh,
Mindeller's not here, but
so
like
we
it's a
got a
reminder that
remind
he
though.
exists. Yeah, but I pronounce it Remindel. So, and fun fact about this guy, he actually used to have a different sound font. I believe I brought that up earlier, but
Mm.
it was the BandLab Clean Fifth Sine organ. It's a good instrument, but I did not execute it well, and I did not have enough leads. You know, Pacom Island was empty until G-Man was like, "Hey, what if we change this guy?" And then he changed this guy, and
Yeah.
that guy
And that was
carried
this
the song
guy.
hard.
I love that track. It's a very good track.
Yeah. Um. And this guy is also the funny little guy that I animated for this one. Which
Right.
was a little difficult to split up the pieces because I had to I also made like an alternate sprite for the hand. I'll show the sprite sheet I had for it on the screen right now. But I made fist versions of both of the hands, and I had to separate the crystal ball from the body because they were not separate in the original drawing. And this monster is also one of the first monsters that I did not draw on my phone. I
Oh.
drew it on a laptop, or not a laptop, a little like tablet Chromebook type thing. And then a few months later, right after I finished G-Man's Zodiac Zenith background, or like as I was finishing it, the Chromebook broke. I dropped it and the screen shattered.
Oh. So
Yeah,
short
but
lived.
but now, well, it actually wasn't short-lived. There was actually pretty long between them because
Oh.
yeah, it was a while ago that between Zodiac Zenith and this guy. Um,
Yeah.
but still, Zodiac Zenith was the last background I drew on that Chromebook, but I got a new one that is so good. I love it so much. It's really small, so it's like nice and portable. It's practically an iPad, but it has the Google Play Store, and so I just have
That's
Ibis on
that's
it.
very big.
Yeah, I have Ibis on it, and I can like take it to school and stuff. Fun fact, 90% of my drawing gets done in my classes.
Mm,
So
because
I'm
we do not respect school here.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just do it backwards, you know. I do my homework at home, or like I do all my schoolwork at home. I just draw in my classes. I don't know.
True.
It's
I
my
mean, what
silly
else are we gonna
little
do in
way.
there? Learn? Bah.
Exactly. Learning. Learning starts with L because it's for losers.
Yeah. Anyways, in Verde.
And Verde, yes.
So, what exactly was the process of naming in Verde? Like, why is he named that?
So it's obviously invert because he's upside down.
Okay.
Um, and verde is Spanish for green.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I thought it was a cool little way to combine them. But yeah, a lot of people don't get that, and so they say invert or inverde. So I mean, it's really inverde or inverde. They both work. I just say inverde to stay true to the Spanish pronunciation. If you pronounced it in
Hmm.
full Spanish, it'd be inverde, which is no.
Yeah.
Um. Anyways, let me go
Also,
to
it's
his
funny that the.
bio.
Huh. Excuse me.
Bless you.
I was gonna. Thank you. I was gonna say it's funny that the one with the Spanish pronunciation is a cactus.
Yeah, that's kind of ironic. Yeah.
Yeah. But we should. I can pull up. We should pull up the original concept that I drew.
Oh yeah, I because I did basically just copy it verbatim. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
The original idea was I don't remember what the original concept of this monster was,
Oh yes,
but
that's right. I have that. I have that. It was literally just an upside down cactus.
oh yeah.
I'll
And then
show
you
that
were
on
like,
screen right now. Literally just an
yeah, and
upside down cactus.
so I was like, well, his sound kind of reminds me. You wanted to do like a Discord call
Oh,
based
because it
sound,
is. His sound is a BandLab
right?
bass, but also the Discord join and leave call sounds reversed and slowed down.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So, well, whenever you said that, I was like, well,
You
it
should
would
probably have
be better
something
if
to
it
do
was
with the
like
calling other than just being
with
a
like
cactus.
phones. So I was like a rotary phone, because why not?
Yeah.
And then now he is. There he
Yeah,
be.
exactly. I mean, like, even though I copied it almost verbatim, it turned out good. Like, it was a good thing to copy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So his bio says Inverde was once a regular cactus from another world. However, as part of an experiment to test the limits of plants from other dimensions, he was given a special growth serum. During the test, the cactus fell over, it gained sentience while upside down, creating Inverde. Inverde is the bruiser of the Discord travelers, protecting them from any threats. So he
He be.
he punches them.
He punches with his existing arms that are totally real.
I mean, I always considered those his arms, like the little things at
No,
the
I mean
bottom.
I meant fist. I meant fist.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. He punches them with his stubs.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh. Next up, we got Audrevo.
Yes, Audrevo. And this Audrevo started off very interestingly because when he began, he sort of just had the curse of just make it glitchy that you
Yep.
had with the Discord elements.
Yep. Yeah. And then I was like, how could we do this? So I hopped into a VC with Iconic, and we talked about it, sketched some things out, and we threw the sketches over to Kikabug, and they cooked so
I
hard.
I think it was you guys were discussing in a chat one time, like just what could we do to make it better, and I was just like,
Yeah,
what about what about a TV screen or something like a DJ
yeah,
setup?
yeah. Make it not just the speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like the best decision ever. So we took like our sketches and that idea and ended up with this.
And
And
then
his whole
Kikabug
thing
cooked.
exactly. And then his whole thing is that he adds octaves to his sound every. Please tell me what that's called.
Just line,
Okay. I didn't know if there
I
was a
guess.
specific term for it because I know it's not measure.
Measure, I guess measure.
Measure. All right. So he adds an octave to his song every measure. Um, but then he also gets slightly more glitchy. So we kept the glitchy thing but made it a little more unique.
Yeah, so that now he just like continually gets more and more glitchy as the thing goes on.
Yeah, yeah, which I think is funny. He just like he's slowly losing himself. Um,
Yeah.
and his bio, I actually provided a reason for it. Bio. While Inverde has the brawn, Audro has the brains. He often runs important calculations and keeps track of plans for the Discord travelers. He also serves as a translator and helps visualize things on his screen whenever there is a language barrier between monsters and the travelers. Sometimes, after too many calculations, translations, destinations, and so much else, he gets a bit overwhelmed and slowly increases in intensity. After a bit of cooling down, he's alright and ready to go.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
yeah, so he just like gets overwhelmed and just has to find a quiet corner to die in for a second, and then it's okie dokie. But another thing is, for no apparent reason, just because they could, Geekabug made a Valentine's version of, I think it's meant to be Valentine's, I don't know, of Audrevo with
It
like
was a
heart
heart.
eyes
It
and
was a
a pink.
heart.
Yeah, it looked like Valentine's, I guess. It's just a heart in general,
Mm-hmm.
though. Just a,
Pull it up on screen now.
yeah, yeah, looked like that. And, oh, it was pretty cool. It made me
Yeah.
realize that there was like a lot of options for this monster. So,
Yeah. It's
all
pretty.
right.
It's just whenever you have a solid color, there's a lot of directions you can go in.
Yeah, yeah. And what I didn't realize until later is like how much of the monster changes. Like, I don't think I put it in the individual, but because Kika hadn't changed that yet, but the eyes,
Mm.
the eyes of the speakers change color. Like they are just like a really dark version of that main color, whatever it be, the green, yellow, orange. I didn't have that in the individuals though. They're still just black, but
Mm-hmm.
and then the little graph changes. And I don't know where the picture went, but apparently he has a little face under his screen that Kika sent one time, and it is the
Oh, I
funniest thing I
remember
have
that.
ever seen. I'm gonna pull that up if I can find it. All right. Next up we got Fangstrom.
Yes, my Fangstrom is a very interesting monster because he's the least. He's the least.
It's actually the
How do I say this?
only it's actually
Digital.
the only digital that goes by she.
Yeah,
So is that what you were saying or?
I was saying he's the only one that isn't like technology related.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm just now realizing that. Yeah. Um, I
I mean,
guess I
that's not a
went
bad thing.
for more of the Minerc and Talcum on this one for the inspiration because it's a goofy
Yeah,
little creature. Um,
he is a little goober.
yes. Okay. Let's just go straight to the bio. Fangstrom is a rare exception among the travelers. Oh, I literally called out what you said, kind of. Fangstrom is
Oh
a
my
rare
gosh.
exception among the travelers, being one of the only ones to not have gone through some genetic change, strange glitch, or terrible dark past.
Yeah.
She was simply a kind bat who was interested in the traveler's cause, and she decided to join them. Fangstrom's colors provide her with stealth while flying in the night sky, and her glowing eyes allow her to see well in the dark. Because of this, she is often sent on recon missions and secret investigations for the travelers. That will be important later. Save that in your memory.
Ah.
And the name origin on this one is actually kind of clever. Her name originates from Fang, because bats, and Hagstrom, the Minecraft song that uses a kalimba, which was the inspiration for her instrument. Because I have a history of doing this. BandLab added a new sound, like a new instrument, to their library, and I immediately used it for an island. That also happened for Arachronaut. I put him into the Poccum song the day his instrument was added. The uh BandLab Halcyon Fifth. It got added, and I was like, "Oh, that fits in Poccum." Boom.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's funny.
yeah. So this one, I got to redesign this one this time. The original didn't have much personality to it. And also had no
It was just a bat.
it had no texture or like what's the form to it. Like it was just like a flat picture. But this one is a lot more
Right.
expressive and I like that and it has more glow now. If you couldn't tell, I'm obsessed with adding glow to my drawings. There is almost
Yes.
always glow in some part of my drawings, which I think is funny.
Except block crafting, because he's perfect.
Well, the old ones, yeah, I didn't do it much, but nowadays there isn't one that doesn't have glow. Which I think is funny. So you want to move on to the last individual?
Yeah, well, the last two.
Or yeah, I meant like the last individual video.
Well, yeah, I've just been following along as you've been talking.
Okay. Um. All right. 1 second.
I'm mainly just pulling them up to look at them visually.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get the bios for this real quick. All right. The man himself, CD 418.
Very important little
So
guy.
before I say anything else about this guy, I would like to just um read his bio first because it's the longest bio I think I've ever written. Um,
Yeah.
because he's kind of a little bit of a really important guy in the lore.
Yeah.
CD418 is the leader of the interdimensional Discord Travelers. He once ran a genetic testing facility for monsters from other dimensions with his twin brother. CD418 would use the Sender Gate from his home island to capture monsters from other worlds, take them back to the facility, and cage them up to run tests on them. Eventually, he realized how unethical his practice was and left the facility, vowing to right his wrongs. He founded the Travelers to fix the problems he caused in other dimensions. Now he keeps track of the multiverse and any disturbances. Rumor has it that he is planning something big. He always did have the desire to take down his brother. He keeps track of their travels on music discs that can be played in the slot on his chest to recount the memories of that island/dimension. CD418 often stands back and observes the monster world. He sees all that happens and is one of the most intelligent monsters. Kaboom.
Yeah, which is pretty much what we saw from the video.
Yeah, yeah, that this is the flashback is largely CD418's biography, autobiography, I guess you could say, because he's telling them about it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I will say the coloring of the discs he is holding does have importance. Um, Specifically the one we see in the minor full song where it zooms into one of the discs, that is important. I'm gonna tell you, if you see
Mm.
something in here in one of my full songs that you think is an Easter egg, it 90% of the time is. Um, so this monster's sound is actually pretty interesting. It's sampled from the song Droopy Likes Your Face by C418. This
Ah.
is one of my favorite cut songs from the Minecraft album. It was in Volume Alpha, but did not make it into the final game. I think it was just a bonus track. But that was originally sampled from like a kid's book machine that would like, you could pair it with a kid's book and it would like read it out loud if you had these specific books that were meant to work with it.
Right.
It was called the Droopy Dragon, and it used these like, I don't know how to call it, just like low quality
Just
robotic
vocal samples.
vocals. Yeah. Um, and C418 sampled the book, The Droopy Dragon, from that reader thing, and um put it in his song Droopy Likes Your Face. And I'm like, hey, that's pretty neat. And it also turns out that um the key of Minerc Island and Droopy Likes Your Face, I think are identical, and the tempo is only off by like 4 BPM, so if you speed it up a bit, it's perfect. So it wasn't much work to make it fit in Minerc. I'm just gonna let his sound play for a sec.
And it might be seeing this monster in a later project eventually.
Yes, that's true. That he will, like I said, he's very important lore-wise. This is not, and I mean guaranteed, is not the last you will see of him. He is very important. Right, now we got Nimbus. Funny little lad. I find it funny when you look at the description of this video, the size of Nimbus's bio compared to CD418's.
Yeah,
All right,
very
so
very little.
Nimbus. Nimbus lives in the stars above Minerc Island, and it keeps watch over the ecosystem. Very few monsters have actually seen or met Nimbus, but all of the travelers believe in it because CD418 has a memory disk of his encounter with it. It is said that Nimbus controls the night and day and the weather as well. So he kind of just keeps
He's the reason why it's always sunny there.
right, yeah. He keeps the ecosystem in check. Um yeah. Keeps watch over the island because CD418 can't really protect his own island when he's busy protecting the entire rest of the multiverse. Um yeah, so he's just this little mysterious dude who lives up in the clouds. And when I was making this, it was originally just going to be gray or like a slightly tinted warmer gray and
It's just
cooler gray.
cloud color, basically.
Right. But then G-Man was like, "Hey, what if you made it sunset?" I'm like, "Hey, that's a pretty good idea." And then I did it and we were like,
That
"Hey, that looks cool." And so,
looks really cool.
yeah, so now it's a thing. Um, yeah, this monster was fun to make because just like the other outer net, um Skipper, I basically took the original and just cleaned up the design because I didn't have many problems with the original. Except
Right.
my only problem was that like a lot of the others, my line art was messy. Um, and I didn't have very good shading, so I didn't know how to like blend the shading out. It was like cell shading, but done really, really badly. Yeah. So,
Hmm.
his name origin is Nimbus and Bliss and Nimble. Pretty straightforward, I'd say. Yeah. So, and then we got the ambience. I don't know if it was clear in the full song, but that like transition noise is the center gate activating. The like the whooshing transition between verses is the center gate portal.
Right.
Yeah, thanks for watching. This has been the Minerc Island Update 2 dev commentary. And again, if you would like to see these for more islands, the memberships are open now. The second level will get you access to all of these. I'm going to do one for all of my full songs, including Kuhu Island, and which is already released, and Frenzy Reunited, which is releasing sometime. So, yeah, this
Thank
has
you for
been
watching.
yes, thank you. And this has been G-Man and Pawsy. Uh,
Hopefully, in a future dev calls, we'll have more people that were
more people.
involved in the
Yeah.
project.
Yeah, because Kikabug and Iconic could not make it.
Stinky.
Um, so so you might see them in the next one. Speaking of, we'll see you in the next one.